Earlier this year, I got the Fire Maple petrol pot with their Green Peak stove. I really fell in love with this pot. I love what Fire Maple has done here. On this pot, if you're familiar with it, you have a heat exchanger. This thing is great for backpacking. And maybe a month or two ago, I saw that Fire Maple released a new stove. It's their Green Peak 2 stove. And what they did is they updated the stove that I had been using all summer. So they took this little stove that I love in here and made some updates to it. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to show you a little comparison here from the original Green Peak stove. You and I are actually going to get a first look at the new Green Peak stove, and then we're going to take the Fire Maple Alti titanium mug and we're going to do a head-to-head boil. We're going to see how this new stove compares to the previous version of the Fire Maple Green Peak. And we're just gonna boil some water. Why are we gonna do that? Because I'm at 6,800 feet elevation and this new stove has a pressure regulator. And what does a pressure regulator mean? It means that in colder temperatures and higher elevations, when it takes longer to boil water, this stove is gonna maintain efficiency with your fuel that you're gonna be using so that you can have fuel efficiency while boiling water. And ultimately what that translates to is you get to eat your food. So let's open this up together. I haven't even seen this yet from Fire Maple. First look, I love how Fire Maple puts these just in a little pouch. I think that's genius of them. And this stove looks really similar to my other one. There's a difference in the handle here. You can see that. And then I see on the pot supports, I knew that Fire Maple did this. Ooh, I don't know if you saw that, but that pot support flips out like that. Ooh, that looks good. Now, a lot of people are saying like, well, hey, why don't you just use this with the petrol pot? And what Fire Maple has said is that these don't fit perfectly for the petrol pot. Now, Fire Maple still has a piezo igniter on this, and looks like that thing's firing right away. Let's look at these kind of next to each other. You can see my original Green Peak stove has some signs of use on it. The pot supports are larger comparatively on it. The new Green Peak 2 stove still has the lip, so it's going to protect your flame in here. You're able to control what your flame is. They both have piezo igniter. Green Peak 2 stove here, original Green Peak. Let's open up this Aldi mug. Ooh, dang, this is nice. Good job, Fire Maple. I really like what you've done here. All right, I don't have the weights on these. This is 5.3 ounces for this Fire Maple titanium cup, 600 milliliter cup. This thing looks great. What I wanted to do real quick for you is I brought up my Toaks pot because I know a lot of people in the backpacking community love the Toaks pot. And these honestly look very similar, like in size, in lid. Fire Maple lid looks like it's gonna nestle in there a little better. For my Toaks pot, I modified it with these handles here. But I think like size-wise, very similar what you're gonna have. This thing looks great. I love titanium. Trying to move away from more plastic especially, so I really like the combo here. So let's do what you came here for. Let's put some water in both of these. Fire Maple, you could be bougie in the backcountry with this amazing little cover here for your cans. So we'll use these cans. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and screw our original Green Peak stove onto this can, and then we'll do our new Green Peak stove with the pressure regulator onto this can. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna fill up each of these. We're gonna do the same amount of water in each of our, we'll do 16 ounces in each of these, and we'll get this one on here. And then we'll do this one over here. We will do head to head and see what happens here. Both mugs are filled with 16 ounces of water. And let me say this, I just want to say thank you to Fire Maple. Fire Maple gave me these stoves, they gave me these pots. They let me do this test for you so you can decide what's best for you. If you want to get anything from Fire Maple, anything on their website, you can get 10% off using my code PEAK. That's P-E-A-K. Just throw that code in, you'll get 10% off anything on their website. Right now they're doing some killer Black Friday deals, great Christmas deals, so don't forget to look for those. I spread our stoves out just a little to give us a little room here. We're gonna cover both pots with a lid. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire up each of these stoves. We're gonna start over here, and then I'll let you know the time difference from when this stove gets started to here, so we can see what our boil times are on each. Okay, let's open this up. All right, there we go, cooking with gas. These stoves are just so reliable. You see how quick they both fired up? They started 10 seconds apart from each other. You can even look in the timestamp so you can see. My experience is this stove takes about 90 seconds for water to boil. Over here, we have the Green Peak 2 stove, remember, with the pressure regulator. And over here, we have the original Green Peak stove. And then we're also using the petrol 600 milliliter pot. And then we have the Aldi, what is this one called? Alti. I like that, kind of like altitude, Alti, 600 milliliter pot. And so let's see which one of these starts to boil. I'm so curious. Oh, I hear something. Nope, not yet. Okay, we're almost to a minute in. This one's starting to rattle a little. I actually am really impressed with how this pot sits on this with these pot supports. Makes me feel more comfortable. Sometimes when I'm using like, a BRS and my Tokes pot or an MSR Pocket Rocket, I get a little scared. But I think they've done a great job over here. Nothing yet. I also probably should tell you that my watch says it's 53 degrees outside. It's overcast. We're starting to steam a little over here. Starting to steam over here too. Okay, I think we're coming close to 2 minutes, which this is actually, in my opinion, really good timing for both of these stoves. Got steam coming out the top. I can hear the lid rattling. I don't know if you can hear that over here. We're close. I hate opening it and checking it. So close. All right, we're boiling over here on the petrol at about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 53 degrees outside, 6,800 feet elevation. Pressure regulator stove is crushing it. I hate that I had to take this off. I feel like I'm skewing the numbers a little on this. So I think we were at 2 minutes, 30 seconds here. We're getting close to 3 minutes for boil time here. I just don't want to take the lid off again, but I'm going to. So this one's really close. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it, the pot wiggling just a little. I do notice that I didn't get one of the pot stands folded over on this. I have 2 of them under, but I don't think that's impacting our boil time here. So, oh, there we go. We got steam coming out. I should have waited for that. Every time I lifted that, it just hurt this. There we go. Oh yeah, we got a rolling boil in here now. This thing is Oh yeah, this thing is going away. Very similar weights here on both of these items. I think our Alti-Pot and our petrol are really close. I'll look up those numbers online. We'll get some numbers down here for you. We'll make sure we get some weights on both of these, and we can get you, we'll throw these on the digital scale. We'll get some numbers put in here for you. But yeah, when I'm looking at both of these too, I think you can see just the height over here. This is gonna be a more compact stove setup. This stove is gonna fit in here with a smaller gas can. I do have a smaller gas can, but this is still really hot. So let's see if I can cool this off, show you how everything can pack up here. And then if you're interested in either of these stove setups, make sure to go over to firemaplegear.com and use that code PEAK10 to get 10% off your order. Okay, so I had a completely different ending filmed for this video, and let me tell you what happened. I was filming it, I had forgotten to charge my phone, so my phone died, and it was gonna work, but then when I got home and I started editing this footage from maybe a week or so ago, I got an email from Fire Maple Gear that they're coming out with a Petrol 2 pot. It's live on their website right now. And so what I was gonna do is I was gonna talk about how the Alti mug will fit the Green Peak 2 stove. And let me still talk about this just briefly here real quick. Just stick with me for another minute or so. Like, I love that they give you a little stuff sack and you can go ahead and just take this stove and drop it in here for when you're backpacking. I think that this pot is really great for ultralight backpacking. I think the stove setup is awesome. Like, I really do like this mug. This is gonna be something I'm gonna use this coming season and this coming year for backpacking. I also think this is something that I can use at base camp to have a cup of coffee or to eat breakfast out of in the morning. You're gonna find a lot of versatility within this. And I'm letting you know about the upcoming Petrol 2 pot that is going to, not supposed to, that is going to pair perfectly with the Green Peak 2 stove. I'm excited to get an opportunity to review that because I've really enjoyed Fire Maple's gear. If you're watching this and you're saying, hey, that wasn't the best boil time in this combination, you know, if you go back and watch the footage, watch how the Green Peak stove sets with that petrol pot. Those heat exchangers are a game changer, and I just really appreciate what Fire Maple is doing. I think they're making quality gear at an affordable price to help you and I get into the outdoors. If you want to see more about the petrol pot and the Green Peak stove, I'll put a video over here where I did a review on how that compares to jet boil. And then if you want to see my adventure this summer, I started hiking the John Muir Trail, and I filmed every day of while I was on that. So I'll put day one of that over here. If you have any questions about any of this, go ahead, drop those comments below. I'd be happy to help out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff. Drop a comment if I can answer anything. I always enjoy engaging and connecting with people here.